Guess we'll find out.
It's all right. We're going to find out. In episode 152.
Ooh.
We've almost made it. We've almost made it to 153.
We're getting
big
there. That was the
153.
big goal, right?
153.
We took some time off. We're back. Jamie and Brom did their episode last week.
Yep.
And
Zach
Patrick.
and I
And Patrick,
listened
yeah,
and
you
we're like,
can't-
dude, we
leave
got to
out.
get back on because
Patrick
we're
might have
not
been on
leaving
more
them.
episodes of this show than Alex has.
at this point,
It's possible.
maybe.
And Alex is in the opening credits song, so
We miss
That's not
Alex.
necessarily
what does
true.
that say?
That's not necessarily true. It just says gruesome twosome, doesn't it?
That's true. Maybe Patrick's the other part of the group.
Oh my gosh.
How do you feel about that, Zach?
I need to get on episodes with Patrick. Is how I feel about that.
Well, maybe me
Have you
and
ever
Patrick
been on
can be
an
the
episode?
gruesome.
So you're
No,
axing
you
me?
can't steal.
What am I?
Is he going to be the ointment now?
Exactly.
I don't want to be no ointment. I got to at least be. I got to rebrand. If I have to rebrand, I'll do a rebrand. But I ain't no ointment.
Oh,
I'm not walking in those
Man.
shoes.
shots
Or
fired.
tubes. Get it?
I get it, man.
Do you?
Now, would you put on somebody's shoes if they had just covered their feet in ointment and shoved them in there?
Am I
but you had
getting
to run
anything
away?
in this?
You are getting. No, sorry, they're your shoes, but I went and did it to you. I put my feet in ointment and slipped them in your shoes.
As a
and then
joke?
You have to, yeah, as a joke.
Well, I mean, what is the context? Did we just wake up and the shoes are by the couch? I can just put them in the closet and be like, get away, shoes. Or are we like in the woods and the bear's coming and if I got to run, I'm putting on anything.
Yeah, you're putting on that, but then your feet are going to be all slip sliding around in the shoes. You know what I'm talking about?
And you're saying it's your fault that I get eaten by a bear?
Because I greased up those shoes.
Well, yeah, you yeah.
You ointed them.
Maybe. It might be my fault.
You ointed those bastards.
Big time. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
No.
bust the
I
thread.
know. We're like we have like a few minutes to talk every episode before we get into it, and,
And
I
then,
feel like
like-
we're really blowing it right now.
We are blowing it.
What's
Yeah.
been going on? Somebody, we missed Zach and Kyle last week. What have you guys been up to?
Dude, I was telling Zach, it's kind of weird right now because my wife and kids are on a trip. I'm here. I had to work. This is like the first time that I have been alone for an extended period of time. It's quite different for me.
And Kyle, I think you
Like
said
ever.
you were excited for that hall pass. Was that right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So are you just like playing video games, eating candy, like all the things that you're not allowed to do, like normally?
Watching porn.
I am allowed to eat candy, all right, all the time. Hands, look at this. You think this body just like built itself,
Body
buddy?
by
This is
Borgnine, baby.
Body by Borgnine, built on candy. You wake up, you might have egg whites. I wake up, Swedish fish. Just,
Kyle does
Fat
love
free.
his Swedish
great.
fish. I'll vouch for that.
I do.
I love Swedish fish.
I do too.
What are your guys?
Yeah.
Is that your favorite candy, Cal?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's mine.
All right.
Same here.
Swedish
Sour Patch
fish.
Kids.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Swedish fish are probably number one.
Favorite candy?
so
I'm
good.
going chocolate. That's just it. Unless we're counting those in two different
Just
types.
Chocolate.
Like Kit Kats. Boom. Amazing.
Dude,
Reese's.
Dark
what about
chocolate. Ooh.
the Big Cat?
Ooh.
Kit Kat, Big Cat. You know what I'm talking
Ooh.
about?
I know what
You
you're
ever have
talking
one of those
about.
Japanese Kit Kats, Zach?
You're just Japanese
No.
packaging.
No, they got all the different flavors. They got like 40,000
I've had blueberry
flavors of Kit
muffin.
Kat.
I've had dark chocolate, white chocolate, regular. I've had pumpkin pie. I've had strawberry. I've had
Those are kind of adventurous.
yeah. I've had
The
a
lemon?
few.
But,
You had
but
the
they
lemon?
get pretty wild. They get pretty wild
Yeah,
over
there's
there.
birthday
The
cake.
lemons are good.
The Land of the Rising Sun, they got like baked potato Kit Kats.
Well,
over
that's a
there.
lot of those Asian
Or-
nations have a lot of
Wait,
that. Same thing with
what?
Ruffles, chips, snack foods, all that stuff, dude. They usually have a lot of shrimp flavored stuff too.
Shrimp flavored Kit Kats.
Maybe not
Oh
Kit
my
Kats, but like
God.
Ruffles or Lay's or something. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I remember it was like adventurous here when I think Lay's released. I remember there was like chicken and waffle chips.
I love chicken and
was like,
waffles,
ooh.
dude.
Chicken and waffles is really good.
Anyways, can we talk about what I did in
like
the past
super
couple
good.
weeks? Enough of this Kyle
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
No, dude, I haven't even finished what I've done. But I'll let you go ahead.
Okay, fine. You better. Anyways, no, I'm going to pick one thing that I've done in my exciting life in the past 2 weeks, boys. And that one thing is I watched Wednesday, and I'm very pro Wednesday. I thought that show was phenomenal. I loved the acting. I loved the storytelling. And I loved it. And I recommend Wednesday. I really do. It's good shit.
I'm seeing it everywhere on social media.
good.
Why didn't they drop that around Halloween?
I don't think it was done.
They didn't need to.
Yeah. I've heard it's even bigger than the serial killer one, but it's the most engaged
It's good.
Netflix show of the year.
Oh,
Beyond
the Dahmer?
That's the
the
thing.
Dahmer one.
Don't go in with too many expectations, too high of expectations, but it's very good. It's
Well, now people are.
It's Tim Burton, so if you're into that, you'll be like, and I think for me, it's like old Tim Burton, not the past 20 years Tim Burton. So
No, so young Tim Burton.
yeah, that's a better way of saying it. Young Tim Burton at this point.
Timmy Burton, if you will.
Timothy,
YTB.
YTB. What would Timmy do?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
What?
Did someone say dive?
Dive!
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion.
Dude, I wish I was with you watching that, Jamie. I love Stanley, dude.
Passive Glory, great.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking
Are
about?
we back?
You've been watching Kubrick movies?
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Oh, yeah. No, I've been doing Kubrick and Scorsese. I started from the beginning of Scorsese, starting to work my way through some Scorsese, as the kids call him. They call him.
Is that what the kids are saying now?
They call him Marty. They call him Marty S. or the Scorsese. That's what they say.
Or Sazy.
That's what
Wow.
What does he say? That's what they say. That's what kids say.
That's what the kids are saying.
That sounds nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
They're starting to have these parties too, these Scorsese parties. Do you guys hear about that?
Are they like key
No.
parties?
I want to.
Yeah, yeah. Can you? What? I think. What's that again?
What a key party is?
Yeah.
That's where you throw all your keys into a basket and then they throw it in the ocean and then you have to find your way home.
No.
That's a key party, right?
That sounds horrible.
That sounds like a key party out east.
I can't remember the kind of party. I think it had to do something with Kyle. What kind of party was it?
I think what you're referring to is a rainbow party.
Oh, yes. I got that mixed up with my Scorsese. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And anybody who wants to know what that is can ask Brom. He'll tell you right now.
I have no idea what it is. I can make some inferences, but I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, and also, don't Google that on your school computer.
Oh, yeah. Do not Google that on your school computer, kids.
Yeah.
In fact,
don't
turn
do
this
that.
off now. Should be listening to this. Go read a book. Go read a book.
Should you be studying? What are you doing?
Put an egg in your shoe and beat it already. What movie did we watch?
Yeah, what did we watch?
I was just like, did you just really do that, Zach? All right, who wants to go? Dude.
Go what?
tell you about
Like
what.
recap?
No. We got to say what the heck we watched here.
Oh. Not me.
All right,
I'm not doing it.
Okay. I'll do it.
you'll do it?
Don't make me do it. I'm going to do it. All right, guys. We watched. All right. We've been back for a few weeks now. We watched a big Hollywood blockbuster a couple weeks ago. We watched network television drama, American network television drama last week. This week, we're keeping the variety going because we jumped into the world of bad movies. And in fact, it's an Asylum film starring my boy Lorenzo Lamas. He's one of my favorite actors.
Really?
Yes. I actually really enjoy watching Lorenzo Lamas. I've watched
Jamie
the
Smirk.
entire Renegade series and many of his other bad movies like Alien 3000. But tonight we delved into one I have not seen before, and it came out in 2009. It is Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Oh, Oh, yeah.
Now,
And
As I said, Asylum film, was this coming out around the time the Meg came out? Or like what was kind of
No, the
pertinent?
Meg
No,
was way
Meg was way
before.
Meg was
No.
much later.
That's what I was,
No,
that's what I was
Meg
thinking.
much later. Yeah, this was way before.
Sorry, I misspoke. I don't even know what I'm saying
This was
anymore.
like this one made like this was like making the waves, right? Like because it was so ridiculous, and I'm pretty sure this was actually in theaters, at least for a hot minute.
Really?
No way.
Are you
wanna
thinking of
say-
Sharknado? You might be thinking of Sharknado.
This was not in
No.
theaters.
This was not in theaters.
This says it was the Asylum's first theatrical
Yeah.
release.
There we go.
The theatrical trailer released in mid-May 2009.
So anyways, this
I don't see
starred Lorenzo.
anything about it being released in
You don't?
theaters.
Okay,
Dude, it
maybe
should
that
have
was
been.
Sharknado then.
Lorenzo Lamas as Alan Baxter, Debbie Gibson as Emma McNeil, who, spoiler, little trivia, I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
knew this, she's a singer, and just this winter, 2022, released a Christmas album, Winterlicious.
That's awesome.
Is
Yeah,
it
I
like
know.
Fergalicious but winter?
Pretty much, man.
Pulling that up on
she's
Spotify.
Winterlicious
really famous.
Winterlicious
Deborah Gibson's like uber famous.
Vic Chow, I'm sure I'm going to butcher his first name, so I'm just going to call him Dr. Shimada. Sean Lawler as Lamar Sanders, Jonathan Nation as Vince, and then just had to throw him in there. Can't honestly remember this character, but anytime you have a character and you give him a name like this, you just got to smile. Mark Henst played Dick Ritchie.
No, remember he was the smarmy guy at the beginning. Remember she kept on calling him Dick, like, "Hey, Dick."
My name is Dick Ritchie.
Right? Yeah, her employer, Dick
that?
Ritchie. Yeah,
Oh, was he the guy in the
he was the guy who's like,
white coat?
yeah, exactly. He was the one who's like, I'm up against it here. And you're trying to tell me that it's some kind of biological source for this, blah blah blah.
There we go.
God,
Was the submarine that they were on? I know you're obviously going to get into this, but Seiji Shimada, the Vic Chow's character, wasn't the submarine they were on called the Shimada as well? I think it was. You guys think that might be a reference to our boy and
Definitely.
submarine superstar Teru Shimada?
definitely a reference to Teru Shimada.
There
My
was multiple references in this movie to other submarine movies. Like through dialogue, I caught. Like, did you guys catch the "Run Silent, Run Deep"?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
blatant, like he said it, and I was like, "Damn!" I stopped, paused the movie, and wrote it down. I was like, "That's
Yeah.
intended."
Or they got to get into an underwater canyon that only somebody knows, and it's going to be like super tight, and they got to navigate it. Never seen that before. Yeah, no, there's a lot of things going on in this movie.
Yeah, so
to
pretty
be-
great.
This
Pretty
is a,
great
this is
movie.
a feast for submarine fans. I'm excited to hear Jamie's retelling of it.
Oh boy. Should I get into it?
I think so. I
think-
think we're ready
All
for you.
right. So Deborah
You
Gibson, number one hit maker, songwriter, plays Emma McNeil, and she's a scientist, and she's off there, and she's like, basically cruising around Alaska. She stole this experimental little mini sub with this pilot, and they're like, "Oh boy, we're doing something wrong. I hope we don't see something that makes us gets us in trouble." And there's the military's out there, and they're doing like an experiment, and they're throwing illegal sonars into the ocean to, I guess, see what they do. It was a little bit hard to tell exactly what the point was,
Dude,
but
it's top secret. You don't need to know.
right. But anyways, it goes off, and it forces this whole pod of whales to go by, and they're like, "It's beautiful," but then they realize it's not so beautiful because the whales are committing suicide by running into this giant polar ice cap. And at the same time, the helicopter also seems to respond to the sonar and drives itself into the ice cap, so the helicopter destroys itself. And she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know that was something was wrong. Like, whales never behave like this." And just as she needs to like save the mini sub and get out of there, she sees the ice break, and she's like, "What's that?" And it's a giant shark and a giant octopus, but she doesn't know that yet. Anyways, we flash forward, and they're coming back to California, her and the pilot, and they're basically like, "Boy, I hope we're not in trouble for borrowing that mini sub." And they're like, "Oh, we're definitely in big time trouble." And so then she shows up to like a work site, and they're like, "Oh, what's with all the suits?" Something, she's got a job as like a marine biologist or whatever. But that now the feds are around as well because the octopus the shark that was released by the polar ice caps has totally munched on a giant whale, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So she gets there, she's late. They're like, basically, you're stunt. This is Dick. Dick's like, that stunt you pulled, put me. I got heat now. So thanks a lot. And she's like, oh, whatever. And she goes up to this whale and it's basically like, clearly this was bit by a giant shark. And everyone's like, no, it's propellers. Get out of here. And I don't want to hear about that anymore. I don't want to hear your ridiculous theories because we're going to fire you. And she's like, I'm probably going to get fired. And she goes off with the pilot and they're just drinking on the beach. And she's like, well, if I'm going to get fired, I got to, figure this out, anyways. And she goes back secretly to the scene of the whale munching and goes over there and pulls out a giant tooth from the whale as like proof of what's going on, just as she is unceremoniously fired from her job. She goes off now, unemployed, to talk to her former advisor, her like graduate school advisor. And he's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. It's so great. And she's like, I got fired. She's like, I'm even more proud of you because he's like kind of a rebel hippie. And she's like, well, I got this giant thing that I got out of this whale. Let's do our science shit and like really like get sciencey. And he's like, yeah. And so they do all the analysis and we get like the first of two major, or maybe even three major science montages. And they're like kind of science montage. And at the end, they're like, wait, it's a tooth? And everyone's like, whoa, we had no idea that was going to be the case. And they're like, how big would this tooth have to be? And he's like, 11. She's like, 11 inches. And he's like, I think 11 feet.
Who talks without even using a unit of measurement?
I know, right? It's going to be 11.
That's so
awesome.
Ridiculous.
And then
the science in this is incredible too, right?
Yeah.
When they're sitting there like looking at the tooth, but then they're just mixing all these test tubes of different colors. You're like, what?
Obvious
No,
food coloring.
no talking is going on. You're just like, all right, science.
The bright neon colors too. And it's just
Oh, yeah.
fucking cheesy.
Dude, but when we make a movie and we're doing science, we're doing the same
exactly the same. People will be like, wait, is this the exact same scene from Mega? They play it side by side. It's exactly the same scenes. Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Dude, it's just like how Ace Ventura did that throw to Cliffhanger, man.
Yeah.
We'll get that good with it.
Speaking of same scene, they played literally the same scene 4 times. Every time they were on Treasure Island, they had like the same transition and said Treasure Island, U.S. Naval Base or whatnot. And
there was a lot of intertitles.
With the gun outside.
And they went to that damn Treasure Island like 9 fucking times in this movie.
Yeah.
And they kept showing it with that one guy standing there. God, I'm glad you said that, Ben.
The gun. They did not need to do that. Like every time they're in a lab, like we know, like, oh, they're back on Treasure Island. But they were like, we got to make sure people know we're back on Treasure Island.
Yeah. All right. They know their audience, and they're like, they need to know. These people need to be directed.
Yeah. So, anyways, the professor is basically like, it's the megalodon. I basically discovered it. Don't even worry about it. And they're like, okay, so megalodon is not extinct. There's a megalodon going around. But then she gets a delivery of like images from the voyage. Apparently, I mean, it's kind of weird because the pilot that she was like friends with like totally disappeared from the movie because she's like, oh, my pilot friend must have dropped this off, and I was like, so why didn't he like come in? Whatever. And so then they throw the video on the screen and they're like, that's not a shark. And I did kind of like this because you couldn't tell at all what was on this videotape. Like it was like totally ridiculous. And they're like, that's not a shark. It's just like a blob that you like, just an anonymous blob on the screen. And they're like, what is that? And then they get a visit from a Japanese scientist who's been kind of exploring a attack in Japan, which doesn't seem to be from a shark. He's like, oh, that's weird. A shark tooth. Like, I didn't think it was a shark at all. And they go over the videotape and he's like, that's more like what I was thinking. Giant octopus, baby. So now we got both the main characters introduced now. We got Giant Octopus and we got Mega Shark or Megalodon. They should have said Megalodon versus Giant Octopus, but whatever. It's fine. And so they're basically sitting there and are like, okay, we figured everything out. Meanwhile, the military is just starting to figure stuff out. And in one of the funnier scenes, and there's a lot of funny scenes in this, even though I think it's a terrible movie, there are like funny shit in it. And at this point, like Megalodon attacks like a big Navy ship. And there's There's like the captain of the ship who's like firing on Megalodon, and they hit Megalodon once, and they're like, "Oh, it disappeared from radar," and he's like, "Oh, we destroyed it." And the person he's with is like, maybe we should like think about maybe like it didn't totally get destroyed. He's like, no, we destroyed it. Call it into Washington. I was like,
Get
like,
Washington on the phone.
yeah, he's like going over to his like his whatever dream board and like putting up I destroyed Megalodon on it, like wishing it into existence. And then all of a sudden it shows up again. He's like, it rises, and it just the shark destroys.
That scene,
the naval,
because that like completely changed the way he was filming. Like before, it was like head on, right? He was talking, and then it just cut to a side profile of him and like zoomed in. Incredible, man.
Yeah. And so then at that point, they bring in the feds, bring in Shimada and McNeil and the professor, and basically like, okay, fine, you figured it out. This is where we finally get introduced to Lorenzo Lamas. Lorenzo Lamas is this giant asshole, big old racist, like giant racist, almost hilariously racist, if that's possible. And I don't know, I don't think it's possible anymore, but he's kind of like unapologetically racist to everyone.
2009, it was a different time.
It was 2009.
Definitely couldn't get away. No way he could get away with it now.
Well, especially because he never really, it's not like he really got much of a comeuppance. They kind of didn't he just kind of succeed?
Yeah, he's like a fine character. Yeah, like he doesn't get killed or anything.
Yeah, no, right. Like, because he ends up on the fight. Like, it maybe would have made sense if he didn't end up getting to the mini sub at the end, but he does. Yeah. He's one of the people who survives. Yeah. Anyways,
he's just like your cantankerous, like Clint Eastwood character, Archie Bunker. Is like, oh, like yeah. He wears it on his sleeve. He's harmless. Yeah.
So okay, you guys figured it out. So we need you to continue to figure it out with more of your sweet science montages. And they're like, fine, we'll do a science montage for you, but only if you don't destroy the creatures, but rather keep them for studying. Which potato. What are you going to study them alive? These are giant creatures. We're going to have to kill them for you to study them. Realistically, come on. What are they going to? You're not going to breed them. There's only one of them, so it's like whatever.
Dude, you're going to start mixing up test tubes, though.
Right, and so then they
got to have them alive.
They are doing science for a while, and it must have been a real long time because McNeil and Shimada, they're kind of like digging each other. They're like, what's up? And all of a sudden, in the middle of science, and I don't know about you guys, I'm a scientist. I've never had a moment where in the middle of science, I just like randomly tenderly kiss one of the people I'm working with. Never happened. And then it definitely didn't happen that immediately it's like, I'm going to head over here. And they have sex in like a closet in the middle of this very high tense science situation that they're in.
Dude, obviously you're not doing the right kind of science.
I got to jump in.
Yeah.
About 5 to 10 minutes before that sex scene happened, Nivi and I were watching the movie, and I was like, man, this movie needs a good sex scene. And she's like, yeah. And we got it. So
yeah, it was a good sex scene because
they showed so much.
They showed everything.
Yeah,
they showed everything. Yeah.
Guys.
Debbie Gibson was putting it all out there for the world to see.
And so then, but this isn't any old sex scene. It's it's kind of a character development sex scene because they are basically like, oh, that sex was good. They're like, oh yeah, definitely that sex was really good. I like that sex a lot. But they're like, wait a second. Also, that sex made us smell good. I like the smell. Wait a second. We could attract the octopus and the shark with our smells, with their smells, whatever. And so then they go off and they're like, we're going to trap the animals in the bays of the two most populous places on Earth. Nothing can go wrong in this situation. But let's just say it's the only places we can do it. It's these particular bays where there are millions of people living. And so we'll do it on both sides of there, and hopefully nothing goes wrong. And they do some more science, and they mix up and they create this perfect like glow-in-the-dark pheromone stuff. And then they start to place the trap. And they insist, we're placing the trap. And they go out and they're placing the traps. It's working. They go out in their mini sub. And of course, you got to have some high tense situation. So they go out and they're like, oh, I got to place this last one. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. And as they place it, like, oh, the arm's stuck. And I'm like, really? Arm's stuck now? Mm-hmm. Really? So anyways, they basically have to snap off the arm of the mini sub and then run away really quick. And it kind of ends up, I think the point of it is that they end up angering the shark like a whole bunch because to get away, the Navy has to shoot at the shark. The shark gets shot, but then it just gets angry because the conventional weapons don't do anything to it, and it takes a big old chunk out of Golden Gate Bridge, and thousands of people are killed. Thousands. It's not hundreds. It's thousands of people are killed by this mega shark.
And like, the guys didn't even really seem to react too much. They're just like, it's attacking Golden Gate Bridge. Like,
and then they call up Shimada. Shimada's like,
Well, sort of. I feel like Lorenzo is like ready to execute the nuclear.
yeah, he's
option
going nuclear at this point.
dude, who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do? Launch a nuke in San Francisco Bay?
No, see,
He's ready to.
No, not in sense because that's the thing. They were like, oh, it's going to devastate marine life, which is probably somewhat true. But like the Pacific Ocean is also pretty huge, and we've also like detonated like numerous nuclear weapons in the Pacific Ocean.
It's not uncommon to do a nuclear test underwater. Like it's
Did you guys not see The Dark Knight Rises? I mean, give me a break.
Right. Yeah, they should just watch Dark Knight Rises.
I never did. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Oh, I guess that hadn't come out yet
You
when
liar.
this movie was made, right? Or did it? I guess I don't know.
You liar. I love
don't know.
that.
So, anyways,
So angry.
They are not they're not thrilled with that. Shimada's basically like, oh yeah, it went horribly in Tokyo as well. It was kind of funny that we didn't see anything about that. It's basically like just a video screen of Shimada being like, "Oh, that was horrible. Oh, you should have seen it. It was bad. It was like really thrilling and bad." And we're like, "Oh, okay, thanks."
Great visual, though. It was great visuals. Too bad you guys couldn't see it.
Right. And then they're like, okay, we need a new idea. And they're like, a nuclear weapon. Like, basically, Lorenzo Lamas like, nuclear weapons. And they're like, no. And, McNeil, who's been having all the ideas, is basically like, what happens if we use the pheromone trap? The only thing that worked, by the way, I did it. I did the only thing that worked. The pheromone trap. What if we do that, but we lure them to each other? And they are natural enemies, so they'll fight each other and die. And everyone's like, nailed it. And so they go off, and they're
where have
basically,
we heard that before, people? Where have we heard that before?
Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, Godzilla. Yeah.
Which
Godzilla.
And what does the guy call the shark in the movie? Did anybody catch
Sharkzilla?
Sharkzilla.
Yes.
Sharkzilla.
Wow.
Yes, thank you.
This should have been Sharkzilla versus Giant Octopus.
I would not be surprised if that was like the name, the rough draft or something like that. Like they went with Sharkzilla first, and then they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Sharkzilla versus King Octopus.
That would be a much better movie title.
Oh my gosh.
I think the next one, or maybe not the next one, but the one after that, I think was Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark too.
Mecha Shark is the third one, I
Classic.
think. Yeah.
And that one, we'll talk about that. In a
Mecha
little
Shark?
bit.
There's also a Crocosaurus.
Crocosaurus
one floating
is
around.
the second one. And
then Colossus.
And Colossus is the fourth one. Yeah.
And I pray to God that there are subs in all four.
Yeah, hopefully.
What's the Colossus? Is it like...
Dude, it looks like
It's a
giant anamorphic robot.
yeah.
I was going to say, is it like the
It's like
Greek
Power
Colossus?
Rangers. I really think they were going for like Power Rangers.
So anyways, they
versus
go off
Power
in
Rangers.
submarines. There's like 1,000 submarines now. They're like, oh, we got a wolf pack. I'm like, let's maybe not use that term. I believe that has a
I
bad
know.
connotation. And so then they're like, we got this wolf pack or whatever. And they're going after they're trying to lure the shark, but it's coming super fast. And they're like, oh shit, we're going to die. And everyone on the submarine's like totally freaking out. As well. Like you can see even before he completely freaks out, the pilot's like, he's like so terrified of what's going on.
Yeah.
So anyways, at one point,
He's losing it, man.
Yeah, the shark almost catches up, but then the wolf pack shows up and it like, knocks him away or like helps them get away. And then they end up going through a trench. Like they're going through this like trench or whatever. And that's where the pilot ends up going like totally crazy and he like pulls a gun. Like, where'd you get this gun on this goddamn submarine? I was waiting for someone to be
I
like,
know, right?
why do you have a gun on a submarine? And then she knocks him out. Emma McNeil. She's like, hits him in the face, knocks him out. Everything's good. There's also a moment where the octopus comes and destroys all the other submarines. There's no submarines left other than the one submarine they're on. And so they're basically alone going through this trench and they're heading towards Alaska, to the original ice trench location. Like, oh, it seems like it's the location that they kind of like prefer, the habitat they prefer. So they're heading that way. And they are able to get the creatures to fight, but they end up having to lick their wounds. Like they hurt each other and they like separate. And then I think the shark goes after the submarine or something. I'm kind of hazy on the very end here. The shark destroys the submarine. They get in the mini sub. And then
Yes.
the shark ends up
Oh yeah, and it's chasing the mini sub.
Then Shimada shows
Titans
up.
come back together.
Yeah, and Shimada is able to save
Fire
them.
a couple tiny torpedoes at it.
Yeah, and they're able to save them. And then at that point, the octopus almost seemingly just kills Shimada, which makes Emma McNeil quite sad. And then they end up fighting to the death, and they sink to the bottom of the sea, and that's the end of them. And they are in the mini sub, and she's basically crying because she's like, "Oh, Shimada, the only man I loved." And then he gets on the horn. It's basically like, "Still alive, ready to bone." And she's like, "Yes." And then they end up on the beach, like hanging out and they're smooching a whole bunch, and it was pretty great. And then they're like, "Oh, what do we want to do?" And he's like, maybe we'll become like big time explorers with each other, and we'll explore the ocean, but also each other's bodies. But then all of a sudden, the professor shows up, and he's like, "Ever heard of this?" And he's got pictures of a new mysterious life form. So they kind of setting up a sequel there. But even though I don't know if any of the people in here was in the sequel, actually, even I think the professor I saw sadly passed away. The actor who played the professor passed away shortly after the release of this film, only like a few months later.
They do show
later?
up.
That sucks.
Yeah, he had like a short
illness
and passed away in late
That's not
2009.
good.
It's a shame.
So in the one you mentioned later, Mega Shark vs. Mecha Shark, we do see Emma McNeil come back and reprise her role. And then there's also somebody who has just won an acting award who is in that. In the gaming community, if you're familiar with God of War, none other than Christopher Judge is in
Are you serious?
Mega Shark vs. Mecha. Yeah, I'm serious.
That's almost going to make me want to watch it. That's awesome.
It's just like, whoa, what? So
That's unbelievable.
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got four Mega Shark movies.
Mega Shark
pretty
versus
wild.
Mecha Shark. She's also in Mega Python versus Gatoroid.
I know, dude. I saw Gatoroid and I was like, that's a hell of a name.
Yeah, really weird name, Gatoroid.
Gatoroid.
It's not even
Sounds like a
Android.
condition.
It's not even Android Gator, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure why they call it a Gatoroid.
Dude.
But yeah, that's the end. That's the end. Recap done.
Boom. You
Cap
got
it. Crushed it. All right. Do we have Zach? Do you want to do Love It, Hate It?
Are we jumping
away?
in right now?
Do you want to? He's excited. He's ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Zach's ready. Zach's ready.
Yes. I love it. No. I hate it.
Okie dokie. All you Love It, Hate It fans out there, get ready for this one. What do you guys want to hear first?
I think I want to hear Love It first, I think.
Tell you what, how about I read it and then you tell me if you think it's love it or hate it.
Okay.
And I won't
like
I
that.
won't give the review. I won't give the number. All right. Well, maybe the title will give it away. This comes from our guy, Clarked Ward O'Brien. November 10th, 2009.
So right after this drop.
Right after it dropped. Title of the review is "Anyone who says so bad it's good is a liar." So bad it's good? How bad does a film have to be to just be so bad I wish I hadn't seen it? Why do we have to give con artists like Ooh Bowl or people at Asylum a loophole to spend as little time on a movie as possible? The dialogue is bad because they didn't spend time writing it. The acting is bad because they hired the cheapest actors and gave them minimal rehearsal time. The CGI is poor because they didn't work on it that much. The octopus appears for a matter of minutes. There is a point when an attack by the octopus is only mentioned by a report given to the main characters. And the shark's appearances are 90% reused footage of it swimming at the camera. Most B movies are bad, but they try to get the most out of what little they have, often leading to hokey or silly moments. But at least they tried. This film is cheap and lazy. All the great moments are in the trailer. Some people may say this film's supposed to be bad. But this isn't some great satire of the B movie. It's just a B movie that isn't very good. They tried to do as little as possible and passed it off under the banner of so bad it's good. Do yourself a favor. Watch a Godzilla movie. It's got monsters in it, and they're actually visible.
That one
Seemed like a love it. Seemed like a love it to me.
You think so?
You know why? Because this person is passionate enough to watch this movie and then come out and review it.
True.
So I think that's a review of passion and love.
A crime of passion.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, that was Hate It. He gave it a 1 out of 10.
Crime. Oh, we're so off. So off base.
That's a 1 out of 10. So now for Love It, we go to In Waldron, October 4th, 2010. Never since Troll 2 did a movie scare me this much. Okay, so this movie is getting a bad rap for being too scary or too realistic. Well, if you say that, fuck you. This movie is a horror movie, and it performs at every level. The essence of humanity is captured when the monster attacks the Golden Gate Bridge. And the blonde girl and that Asian guy swear to beat these beasts. And seeing the look on the man's face on the airplane as they were about to get hit still gives me goosebumps.
Oh, that's true. I forgot to mention that.
Never mind what I said before. That was harsh. The guy was getting married, for Christ's sake. I also love...
He did mention that, yes.
Getting married in 2 days.
And then he looks out the window. Holy shit.
I also love how when I think the monster is going to get shot, it uses the tried and true tactics of weaving in and out of every bullet about 15 different times. It shows how close humanity gets to perfection, but can never reach it. Overall, the essence of humanity is captured again when the beasts kill each other, stating that we keep on harming the environment, we will end up in the same fate as Mega Shark and Giant Octopus. What a great movie. 10 out of 10. 4 out of 5 people found that review helpful.
I detect a lot of sarcasm in that one.
I'm going to hop on and make it 5 out of 6. Find that helpful. 'Cause damn. Waldron. That sounds like maybe an android, but
So maybe, I went back in time to give a review.
could have. He very well might have.
I want to hop in here real fast. Just because it's been a while since we've obviously reviewed a bad movie, and I feel like we know a bit of a barometer of where we might feel like we want to
Wait. I
rate
got to cut
this.
in. I got to cut in. We got to create something with that on the show now. Instead of the barometer, the bromard. Come on, Ben, say it.
The barometer.
There we go.
The
We need the
barometer.
barometer.
The barometer.
We need the barometer.
All right. Well, consider this the barometer segment. I'm going to remind you guys real quick of where we landed on a few other bad movies so we know where to place this one. All right. Stinger. Alex gave it a 0.1. I gave it a 0. Jamie gave it a 0. Kyle gave it a 0.13. All right. Did this have more merit than that movie is kind of the question. I think so. Atlantic Rim.
That's right. That was a good one. That's funny.
Rim?
Atlantic Rim was very funny.
I gave it a 1. Jamie gave it a 3. Kyle gave it a 4. Zach gave it a 3.
Dude,
one we
Spitfire
reference all the
came
time.
in with the full payload and balled in.
Thank you, bro.
Definitely the most memorable scene from that movie, and that's kind of where I'm thinking tonight. Is like I don't know what scenes am I going to remember from this one, if any. Like maybe
It's the plane.
Like we already forgot the plane, but we forgot it.
Jamie forgot it. I was saving that for my review.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how I could forget that scene.
Regardless, Steel Sharks. That was
Amazing.
one that we always reference. We always
Lucky
reference.
coin.
I gave it a 3. Jamie gave it a 3.5. Kyle gave it a 3. So I don't know. Hopefully that fills in the gaps a little bit. There's more I could pull
It does
from
help.
here.
That
but
does help.
I did kind of need to refresh a little bit there. Oh, what was the snake one?
Silent Venom.
Silent Venom. Yeah, where was that at on here? That was way back in the day.
Man,
Silent
it's been a
Venom.
while since we watched that.
Silent Venom, I gave a 0.25. Jamie gave a 3. Kyle gave a 3.5. So some disparate results there.
Dude. Yeah.
You remember Submergence, Kyle? The Alicia Vikander and
Oh,
Jamie
yeah.
Glenn.
I remember that. I hated that movie.
Or was that Submerged? There's Submergence and there's Submerged.
No, I think
All
it's
right, dude.
Submergence. Submerged, I
I
believe.
think it is. Steven Seagal,
Steven
right?
Seagal,
It was
yeah.
Submerged.
I think that's
Yeah.
Submerged.
Well, we rated the Steven Seagal one a lot higher. I gave
It was very
Submerged
funny.
a 5. Jamie gave a 3. Kyle gave a 2.75. Zach gave a 3. And then Submergence, the Alicia Vikander, James McAvoy, I gave a 1. Kyle gave a 2.5, or rather, Jamie gave a 2.5, and Kyle gave a 0.12. So
Dude, I remember hating that movie. And then for Christmas, my dad was like, hey, I found this sub movie on sale. Send it to me. I was like, why did you send me this movie? I'm not a fan of it.
all right.
And what
Yeah, that
about
one
the other
stunk.
one? The one that I hate, that the guy, the may or may not director, emailed us on.
Oh, that was more recent.
That was the vampire one, right?
Yeah. Subferatu.
Subferatu.
Yeah, it's not on our sheet. Our sheet's been out of date for quite some time. But
Okay.
hopefully that fills in some blanks. Who wants to jump in with their review first?
I'll jump in. Let me just jump in.
All right,
I gotta
go,
jump
Zach.
in. So I love the barometer segment. I want more of that. I love it. In fact, I think we should just go back and redo all the other episodes to include that. But my review for this film, Mega Shark Vs Giant Octopus by Asylum, 2009. So oddly enough, I remember watching this movie. Like as I was watching it, I was like, holy shit, I did watch this. And I probably watched it drunk in college sometime. And I do remember watching this because when that shark took out that airplane, that guy said, holy shit. I was like, I remember this scene. Like now it's in my face. So I saw this in years past. But what I liked about it, let's start with that. What I liked about it was subs. We got a lot. Most of the movie, I could argue, all the best parts of the movie was probably underwater. Come on. And then, I mean, while they were underwater, you got submersibles, you got submarines, you got action, you got suspense, you got love, you've got hate, you've got everything. Except good acting. You don't have good music. You have terrible editing. You have terrible costumes. Honest to God, I think everything with this movie is pretty fucking bad. I did not like it. I don't even know when I could ever possibly watch this again in the rest of my life. So,
When you inevitably forget about it and
then
then like a
rewatch it.
shark movie season.
maybe like in
Yeah.
another 10, 15 years, I'll be like, oh. Anyways, there's more to hate than to love. But there's lots to love. No, there's not. 2 out of 10.
Okay.
Terrible.
Oh, wow.
All right. I'm going to jump in.
If this got a 4K release though, Zach, would that change your mind?
Absolutely not.
Steelbook.
okay.
Get that Steelbook.
Yeah, dude, get that steelbook.
That steel book.
I'm going to jump in. I did not like this. I didn't enjoy it. I was watching it. And sometimes with bad movies, you sit there and you go, who am I? And what am I doing? Why am I watching this? I usually don't do that because I watch so many bad movies. Usually I look at it into the mirror and I say, this is exactly who I am. Good job. But this time I would look in the mirror and say like, nah, not a good one. You shouldn't have watched this one. And it's a giant waste of time. I watched it on my lunch break today and then after work, and both times I was like, boy, I wish I was watching something else. But I was watching this instead. I will say there were it does have its tongue nicely planted in its cheek at times. So there are some very funny stuff. And I presume it's done somewhat purposefully. In a lot of ways, like I can't imagine they'd make that science montage scene without it being like, yeah, this is obviously ridiculous, and that's part of what they're trying to do. But not enough to really pull it up towards Steel Shark level. But I will say, given the context of what you just said, like, Brom, thank you for giving that context. I was originally going to be like, do we give zeros? I'm not going to give this a 0. It's not a 0. Okay, I think it's probably a 2.
Yep.
Yeah, you do get some chuckles. You get some chuckles out of it, but it's not up at the level where I'm getting like a huge amount of chuckles or memorable scenes or anything like that. It's just kind of like meh to me.
Interesting.
Okay. One I just saw on the list here was 2010 Moby Dick.
Oh yeah,
which I gave a 0.5. Jamie, I don't have a score for you. Were you not on that episode?
No, I
feel
definitely was on that one.
Dude, that guy battling Moby Dick with a shotgun.
Oh my God, that movie.
That was
Zach
Bosworth with the
I gave that a 1.
bad.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And Kyle gave it a 1.75.
Yeah, I probably should give. I'm going to change my score for this one to a 1.5. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
But I feel kind of the same about that 2010 Moby Dick as I do about this one.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think I need to come in with my same score that I had for 2010 Moby Dick. Bad movies can be great. Bad movies can be very funny, as Zach's Love It or Hate It, mentioned. So bad they're good. Those movies do exist. And Zach's other Love It or Hate It, the opposite one, the Love It reference, Troll 2, was one I wanted to mention. Troll 2 gives you like a laugh a minute. Alien 3000, starring Lorenzo Lamas, gives you a laugh a minute. So good. I'd have to give those movies like 8s, 9s, 10s on entertainment value spectrum. This did not have the laugh per minute. It had a couple laughs. Mainly for me was like, I forgot about the airplane scene. It wasn't even that memorable or good, but that was one of the better ones. And then Lorenzo Lamas just saying things you just wouldn't be able to do in a movie anymore. Like, especially a bad movie, like there's no artistic merit to this movie, so you just definitely couldn't get away with the racist jokes and stuff. God. When Shimada was like fretting or like, getting his pants in a bunch about something, Lorenzo's like, why don't you, instead of saying like, why don't you cry about it, he's like, why don't you commit harakiri about it or something. It's just like, just wild things you wouldn't be able to do. And like, those were the most memorable things, and they're unfortunate things to be memorable in a movie. This movie stunk. I've not really enjoyed any of the Asylum films we've watched. I think the best probably for me was Atlantic Rim, and I only gave that a 1. So I think I'm going to come in at a 0.5 here
Gave that a
on 2010 on Moby Dick. Again, it wasn't a laugh per minute. It had a few great moments, and you've referenced like
literally one of the most memorable scenes we've seen in any movie.
Yes, but that's it. You can get it. You can get it in a YouTube clip and spare yourself the entire movie. I think this is the same way. There might be 1 or 2 clips worth referencing years from now, but I don't even think that. 0.5 for me.
All right. Mega Shark, I'm going to save you from these guys dragging you all down.
Here we go.
You guys are hating on this for no reason. Think about what we talked about. The science. It's incredible. It's unreal. It's unmatched. Visuals leave a bit to be desired. They did, however, include the plane scene with the guy looking out the window, which is something that I wanted so desperately in the movie The Meg, which we never got. This has it. How good is that? Classic kaiju style movie. Think about Godzilla vs. King Kong. We don't see them all the time. We see them a good amount, but not all the time. This movie, I should also preface this. When I watched this movie, I was just walking on a treadmill watching this the entire time. I wasn't like sitting down And like, so, I was like actively doing something. So I think if you do that, it would add to your enjoyment of the film. Because I could sit there and watch this, and be like, hey, I'm having a pretty good time.
I was on the edge of the treadmill the entire time.
Dude, I was feeling it. And for me, I don't know, a lot of sub stuff, super sub heavy. But
there was no suspension of disbelief, though. Like the CGI was so bad, that it wasn't like genuine. Like when you watch a sub movie, like even like when you're reviewing it, you're still like tricking yourself into believing like this is all still taking place, and like you're placing yourself there. I was not able to transport myself onto these sets, and if I were to physically, I bet I would have found out that I'm like in like a Planet Fitness locker room or something. That's what it looked like.
So when the shark attacked the Golden Gate Bridge, all I could think about was what if I was on that bridge? And look how real that looked when it bit a huge chunk out of that. And then what if I was in San Francisco Bay when the nukes went off?
Kyle.
What would happen to me? And so what did I give Atlantic Rim?
Atlantic Rim, Kyle, you, my friend, gave a 4.
Okay. This isn't Atlantic Rim good.
God.
But this is...
Alex gave it a 9.6.
Dude, I like that. That's really good. This is definitely watchable. These other guys, I don't know what's going on with them in their life. If you've got something you're like, I'm just going to go walk. I think I got 5 miles in just watching this movie. Had a great time. It's like 3.75 for me.
Wow.
And then something that else speaks to the merit of this movie is it did spawn those 4 others, as we mentioned, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. That's first, this one, obviously. Then versus Crocosaurus versus Mecha Shark versus Colossus. And then I was like, man, we've talked about a lot of seasons. I don't know if we've talked about an Asylum season. That might be the end of the show entirely. But listen to some of these movies that we could watch, and you guys tell me if you would be excited for this. Battlestar Wars, Top Gunner, Fast and Fierce Death Race. There's that Pixar movie Onward. This one is called...
They're fingering a couple different pies there.
Yeah. This one's called... There's that Pixar movie Onward. This one's called Homeward. There is San Andreas Megaquake. Adventures of Aladdin. Hornet. Cover looks exactly like the movie Bumblebee. Geo Disaster. I know Jamie's feeling that one. In the Name of Ben-Hur.
Great.
Android Cop. Titanic 2. The Da Vinci Treasure. And Tomb Invader.
Oh my God.
Dude. What's going on here? They've
I think the one that would
obviously
always-
had a lot of legal battles. I looked at that. A lot of people are like, stop doing this. They're like,
I
we're
think
going to
the one
keep it
that
up.
would have actually like had a shot at tricking me into watching the Asylum version, like for the 2 minutes until I realized like, oh, this is just dog shit. But it wasn't there like Battle LA and then Battle for LA?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, that was
I will say
the most on the nose one.
my local public library did indeed accidentally buy Top Gunner. And it's on like the new DVD rack whenever I go in there.
That's amazing, dude.
I mean, maybe it's not
Blu-ray?
accidental. Maybe they really wanted to get people access to Top Gunner. But
Top Gunner.
it was
Did they
fine.
get the Blu-ray?
They did not get the Blu-ray for Top Gunner. It's just DVD.
Saying about to
It is one of those things where I look at it, I'm
request
like,
that.
oh, poor library. I love my library, obviously. Big library had over here. Great way to get all kinds of stuff. But I did look at that and I'm like, you tried. Good for you, library.
Dude, I might order that here. Just so there's a couple in circulation, you know?
There's
Right.
a couple in circulation.
It's a good way to preserve materials, my friends.
Yeah, it really is. It's something. Man.
All right. Shall I get into a little bit of trivia and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Shortenly.
I've been trying to do it where I just kind of pick one kind of interesting fact. There are a couple interesting facts about this. One was that they were going to release this in 3D, but they had to scrap it because they didn't get the adequate funding for a 3D film. Unfortunate. We could have been watching this
Would
on
that
3D
change your
TVs.
mind, Zach, if you're watching this in 3D?
No, I hated the 3D fad that was going on during that time period, like for that
Dude.
8-year period when 3D movies came back. I hated
Kyle's
it. I never ever saw one 3D movie that I thought it was worth it. None
Well,
of them.
Kyle's about to see one. Right? Avatar 2. Isn't that all like 3D?
It's not
amazing.
It's not 3D.
What?
But the one when I went and saw the first one, it was in 3D.
That
I thought the new one
they
was
heavily
3D.
praised the first one for that.
I thought the first. I
Well,
thought the
I
second one
don't-
is like
I
super
don't think
3D.
I don't know. At least not where I'm at. But when I saw the first one in IMAX, me and my buddy bought tickets, and we got like the last 2 tickets in the theater. They were in the front row. That is brutal for watching an IMAX movie. So now I was like, I got to
For
get
3D,
tickets ahead of
IMAX or
time.
3D?
3D IMAX. for
3D
that.
IMAX. Okay.
I was in the front row, just like that.
And then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a chance to guess. Over under 10 days for filming.
Oh my gosh. Under.
I'm gonna say over, and it's gonna be like 11.
I'm gonna go under.
It was 12.
That's amazing.
12 days. Principal
Wow.
photography took place over a course of 12 days in January of 2009.
It's amazing.
Dude, that really is, right? That is 12 days of just
Getting
filming
wasted.
high quality content, getting wasted, being on camera, doing science.
Doing
Imagine all the
science.
Lots of
science
science.
scenes, dude.
All the science.
Closet, broom closet sex scene. Boom.
And
That
then
could be an accolade to these actors and actresses, right? How good you are if you can get this film done in 12 days. Nobody's feeling it. You guys hate this movie.
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
I really did.
And then Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantoms engaged, sir.
He pointed at you, Jamie.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking.
Do you have your- do you have your cameras on?
I'm looking at my Wikipedia page.
Oh, it's
for
right on here.
Sean.
Yeah, we're all about that.
Just extend it. Play it back to back 2 times. Play the theme song twice. Edit that in post.
We
Sean
needed
Lawler.
Kyle to say, "Take it away, Jamie."
Exactly. Sean Lawler played obviously our a professor, Lamar Sanders. He also played actually Captain Nemo in the 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea Asylum film. So we'll get to see him again. I didn't use that film though for our Phantom Zone. Instead, I actually noticed he was in Titanic. He was leading Stoker, Charles Henderson.
Stroker.
Yeah.
Are you saying he's the leading stroker?
He's the leading stroker? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he's the leading stroker. And of
May as
course,
well call him a fluffer, huh?
Sounds like Kyle's job while his family's away.
and of course, in that film, we have our boy Bill Paxton, who was also in U571. So you can kind of boop, 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 very easily make your way to some nice submarine action. I do want to mention that Ed Harris has no connection to this film. I know it's a big surprise because usually I find a nice fact, a little kernel that we can pull out and say Ed Harris was in this. But no, he refused to be in it, even though he was offered $20 million to make the film. He said no because he personally felt like it was offensive that an octopus and a shark would fight because he knew that they were not natural enemies. And so he asked that the script be changed, and they said no, and so he decided not to be part of this film specifically.
Wow.
Even though he wrote the sex scene, like he changed the script for the sex scene too.
So he was involved.
He was involved at that point. Yeah, when he was involved, he said, "Gotta have a sex scene here." He's like, "I know there are people out there who are going to be sitting on the couch saying, this movie needs a sex scene." And they're going to turn to the person they're with and be like, this movie could use right now? A sex scene. And then when the sex scene comes up, they're just going to be like going nuts about it. And it turned out they were right. He was right.
Wow.
All right.
Dude, Zach, did you go nuts when it came up?
When what came up?
The sex scene.
He's so on the zone on something.
We're talking about sex scene.
No, I mean, are we being for real? It sucked. It was terrible.
You just knew. You knew it was happening.
With how classy of a woman, Debbie Gibson is, I was pretty surprised it was included, but maybe she agreed to it because Ed Harris was going to direct it. And she's like, you know what? The ubiquity of Ed Harris and submarine films, like it's his art. I will be in a sex scene directed by Ed Harris.
Yeah, it also, well, I think a big part of it also was that he specifically wrote in there that he would be full frontal, but she would not be. That would only be, it would be shot from behind, but nuh-uh. She said fully clothed, except for Ed Harris, full frontal. That's what it said. So I think probably it was like, oh, that's classy.
Extra classy.
That's classy.
Extra classy in brackets.
Exactly.
Right? You just, like, something happened in the lab and you're trying to clean it up. You go into the closet, open it up, just Ed Harris butt naked.
Covered in grease.
Yep.
Slipping around. He can't even stand up to so much grease.
Yes. And originally that was how they lured the octopus and the shark to locations. Well, it wasn't pheromones, right? Because then they took one look at Harris and they were like, wait, what about grease? And then that was the end of that.
Dude, yeah.
You guys,
think Ed ever listens to this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely
I hope
not.
you do.
Are you guys ready for some trivia? I'll keep it short, so I'm going to let you choose the category that we do. Do you want to do recent movies, or do you want to do The Octopus?
Octopus.
Bram, what do you want to do? Octopus or recent movies?
I think I would vote recent movies.
All right, Kyle, your tiebreaker.
God. Dude, I kind of want to do recent movies.
All right, so I'm just going to give you the octopus, why I chose the octopus category. Big enough to fight and eat sharks. The largest octopus is the giant one named for this largest body of water on Earth.
Ding, 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 ding,
Kyle,
ding.
what is it?
What is the giant Pacific octopus?
That is right. It's the Pacific octopus.
Nice.
Congratulations. But I found that very an oddly appropriate Jeopardy clue. Big enough to fight and eat sharks. Largest octopus is the giant one, named for this largest body of water on Earth. All right, recent movies, guys. This is I think you guys are gonna do pretty well. So who voted the lowest? It definitely wasn't Kyle. Was it you, Bram? Lowest?
I think it was me.
All right. Do you want 400?
I gave it a 0.5.
400, 800, 1200, 1600, or 2000?
Give me 800.
Okay. Anthony Ramos took over Lin-Manuel Miranda's singing bodega owner role in the film adaptation of this stage musical.
In the Heights?
In the Heights is correct. Congratulations. 800. All right. I think second must have been Zach. Zach, 400, 1200, 1600, or 2000.
Ah! The highest one.
2000?
Let's do it.
All right. The 2020 film Resistance saw Jesse Eisenberg play this mime working for the French resistance.
Bah! I got nothing.
All right. What do you guys, anyone know a mime?
I don't even know one mime.
Charlie
Mime.
Chaplin?
Charlie Chaplin is not a mime. Okay.
I'm going to abstain.
See, I would have got this
wanna
right.
save my points.
The only mime I knew would have been the correct answer. Marcel Marceau. Marcel Marceau.
Okay.
Marcel Marceau.
Mime stuff, huh?
All right, Kyle, 400, 1200, or 1600.
Dude, give me that 400. Don't know either of those last two.
It's what the Meg is in the Jason Statham aquatic actioner.
What is a megalodon?
Very good. It's a megalodon. Very nice. All right, guys, you got to buzz in now.
Just confirmed on Google. Charlie Chaplin used mime, slapstick, and other visual comedy routines, and continued well into the era of the talkies. So
You're saying
get face rolled, Jamie.
So you're saying he was a trained mime. He didn't go to mime school. That's what I'm going to say. Maybe. He might have went to mime school.
He might have.
Went to mime school.
You guys know anybody?
I wouldn't be positing these statements over there, Jamie. Just take an L.
I won't take an L. Marcel Marceau. Okay. All right, we're going to do 1200. You got to buzz in now. Okay. Guys, get ready because, this one's a hot one. So you want to be ready for this one. Tom Hardy is back in rare form again, playing Eddie Brock, a journalist who shares his body with this alien symbiote.
Buzz.
They can't do that on Jeopardy.
It's true. You have to wait till the question is completed.
We've always played it on here, though.
Yeah, sure.
I even will ask, am I allowed to buzz in before the
That's what his answer was. He just answered.
He answered. It's wrong. It's not about buzzing.
It was a long answer where I finished by saying this. What is Venom?
What is Venom? Very nice. All right, 1600. We're gonna finish it up. It's a hot one. This word genre completes the title of a movie with Riz Ahmed as a drummer going deaf. Sound of
Buzz.
Blank. What is it?
Buzz. What is the sound of metal, Alex?
It's a good
That is
movie.
true.
I like that movie.
It's a good movie. I like that movie. All right, guys. That was pretty good. But Kyle got the most important question right. Megalodon, so he wins. Congratulations,
I
Kyle.
dominated.
Wow,
job,
there
Kyle.
we go. Look at that.
Kyle, you're an inspiration.
Sucks to suck, huh, guys? I'm out here doing my best. So
That was probably my best Jamie Jeopardy performance, and somehow I still lose.
It's because you gave me some sass. I didn't like it.
Okay.
dude, you just gotta. This is where you got to be the stroker. All right,
Ah,
just stroke that ego.
The master
right. Thank you.
stroker.
Yeah, stroker number 3. All right, it's time. It's subs world wide. So it might have been a little bit of a cheat on one of those questions you had there, Jim. Because this ain't subs worldwide. This is Octopus worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah. We just watched a banger of a movie. Everybody knows that. About a massive, or should I say, giant octopus.
A giant Pacific octopus, if you will.
One might say. That came into my mind. What is the world's largest octopus? And then immediately, I think prehistoric, right? Something big in the ocean. Turns out it's not. It's right now. Octopus time is right now. This is the beginning of the octopus takeover. So the giant Pacific octopus, and I think I'm really struggling because I was like putting all this stuff together and I was like, did I already do this? I might have. So if anybody that's listening knows that I did this, just downvote this episode. Just review bomb it. Actually, please don't. They usually weigh around 30 pounds. Kind of small. Arm span of 14 feet. However, so 30 pounds. Bigger ones weighing at 110 pounds with a radial arm span of like 20 feet. The biggest one, I think they said the arm span was upwards of like 30-ish feet. This was kind of interesting to me. As determined by an American zoologist, G.H. Parker, the biggest suckers on those tentacles were 2.5 inches around. So they could support, and every individual sucker can support 35 pounds. So that means if, Brom, you're out there swimming around, doing your skinny dipping, whatever you do out in the ocean, one of these guys comes up and grabs you, you're not getting away. No way, man. This thing is sucking you down to the bottom of the ocean, probably stroking you, stroker number 5. You know what I'm saying?
Stroking me, sucking me. Yes. Don't tempt me with a good time.
And the whole time.
Kyle's dying.
don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh my God. And the worst part for the octopus is that it can smell and taste through these suckers. So it's getting that little salty body of yours just constantly. You might think you're strong enough.
The best part is we probably weigh about the same.
You might think you can wiggle and worm your way out of its grip. I can't even do it. And all this stuff.
His glass glasses are fogging up.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, they are. Oh
Jamie's
my
just stone
gosh.
faced over there. He's like,
It's like, dude, I hate this. So, anyways, this thing while you're wiggling and squirming and German, and it's stroking it. It's gonna put venom in you, man, and you won't be able to move. Why are my glasses
paralyzed.
fogged up, man? Oh my
Look
god!
like Kris Kringle over there right now, dude.
I do have this beautiful red robe on,
robe.
this beard.
Bushy beard,
Yeah, man.
laughing,
Just living it up.
smiling, just telling kids Christmas stories of octopi,
Yeah,
taking you down and
taking my buddies down.
stroking with poison.
All right. Holy cow. Okay, so you might be wondering yourself, first off, Kyle, where is this even going? I truly don't know, but I'll tell you about their diet. They crush shrimp, they crush crabs, they crush scallops, they crush cockles, they crush snails, they crush lobsters, they crush fish, they crush squid. They've even
you got
breached
Jamie to
the-
laugh with cockles.
Cockles. I mean, cockles is a very funny word.
Cockles is funny. You heard it here, folks.
Cockles is funny.
Cockles is
use
funny.
it in wherever you can fit that into a conversation.
I can feel it in the
Cockles.
cockles of my heart.
Oh my god.
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
One was even seen breaching the surface to grab a seagull. Savage. If you do end up getting taken captive, Brom, by one of
Captive.
these octopi, assuming that it's non-violent and it keeps you fed, I have reason to believe you're in maybe not great, but you're in okay health. And it keeps feeding you. You're going to probably outlive it because they only live 3 to 5 years. So I think you should be okay. These 8 tentacled freaks are fertile AF. They lay, there's varying reports here, man. 120,000 to 400,000 eggs, or 18,000 to 74,000 eggs. Wildly different numbers. One's from Wikipedia, one's from Oceana.org. I'll allow you to make that decision.
But you didn't
the
tell us
female
which
will
one's
keep-
which.
I know. That's why I said I'm going to leave that up to you to
Okay.
make that decision. Which means you got to go out and find it. And then the female is going to care for all these eggs until they hatch. Now, here's the messed up part. You might be asking yourself, how do these eggs get fertilized? That's a good question. Because the male octopus comes around and, like a total boss, I don't know if that's the term. It's probably not the right term. Takes a meter-long spermicidal sac, deposits it into the female octopus's head, and then, when it's time to fertilize, she will use that. Sounds insane to me, right? I can't imagine that. 3-foot-long sack of sperm that you're putting into somebody's head to fertilize some eggs. It's nuts. And I can tell that this next one's going to be pretty good based on the look on Zach's face. Octopus are known, they're very intelligent invertebrates. Their brains have folds, even like ours. They have 300 million neurons, which is very impressive because Zach has like 6.
That was a good one.
Well, they're not. I could at least hold that one together, right? I can't even do the other stuff, like just Brom wiggling and squirming. While they're not a threatened species yet, the GPO, as I should have been referring to it this whole time, Great Pacific Octopus, likes to be in waters that are 46 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. If temperatures rise, these guys might just
Fucked.
dip down further.
Oh.
Yeah, whereas somebody like James Cameron's going to be the only person who can get them. A couple fun facts here provided by the World Wildlife Foundation. Not a sponsor.
WWF.
yet. Yeah, dude. You can do a people's elbow on an octopus. It'll squish its way out of you after it wraps you right up. These things can also change their skin like a chameleon, right? So they can match any type of their surrounding in 1/10 of a second. And then If you were to sever the arm of a Pacific octopus, I don't know how they tested this. It's got to be kind of sick. They say that like that arm is still feeling pain even after it's been disconnected from the octopus. Jamie doesn't understand. I don't know.
I don't get that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Because, right, it's just going to be the arm wiggling around. But not the octopus should still be feeling it, right? I wouldn't think. Anyways. That's that.
Oh my God, I loved how you closed that off, Kyle. If I was like driving my car and that's just how, and that's that. God, that's fine.
All right. Bram, you got anything for us tonight?
Hit me with it.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
Give it to me.
All right. So, my boy Lorenzo, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually have had some correspondence with Lorenzo Lamas. Is my one and only cameo purchase in my lifetime. I had him do a bachelor party greeting for my buddy Brad when he was getting married. Brad and I were super big Lorenzo Lamas fans in high school and into our adulthood, watching a bunch of it, again, his bad stuff, just for the laughs. And not to say that he's bad or anything like that. Like he's a lot of fun. He's a fun actor. Plays a great character again, Alien 3000, Renegade. It's not Reno Reigns. Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is actually like derivative of Reno, because Reno, their look and their vibe and the long hair and everything, like he might have been pulling from Reno Reigns and Renegade. But great TV series back in the day. A lot of great laughs in that. But again, had him do a cameo for me. I checked in on him, looked at business opportunities there, because I was thinking maybe we get him to do the intro to our episode tonight, or get him to answer a few questions. He has marked up his price tag a little bit. It's around $70 now if you would like to book Lorenzo, and around $150 for business opportunities. But I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. I'm like, let's see where are the good deals at. We had a beat on Michael Beach a few years ago. Kyle and I did. Haven't got enough. Didn't check on him again to see where his price came in at. But
I think he's off there, because I looked recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he shot me down. We did try to book him for the show, and he shot us down. But I did find some steals and deals. So these are my best cameo deals and steals for you guys out there. If you guys are in the market looking to give, someone a nice Christmas, we've got Christmas coming up here, a nice Christmas gift from their favorite celebrity. Here's some good opportunities for you if you want to send a personalized greeting to a friend or loved one. Let's start with this one right here. Angela Simmons, the daughter of Joseph Simmons of Run DMC fame, Rev Run, his daughter. You can book her for $1,000.
Oh my gosh!
You want a greeting?
Has she had like a solo career or anything?
No, she showed up
just
in
the claim to fame.
MTV, in MTV's Run's house, because there was a show about Rev Run.
Okay,
so she did show up in there in 2005. And riding off that fame, apparently, for $1,000, you can book her.
Dude, why are we not on Cameo? First off,
we could be. I was looking at it. I'm like, we genuinely could be.
I've got it.
Some of these people are not famous.
Awesome.
If we were like $1, like we definitely would get some friends having us make cameos for other friends. It would happen.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be real good.
The next one, kind of still tongue-in-cheek here, because this one is the most expensive celebrity. Can you guys guess who this is? At $2,500. Most expensive celebrity.
This is?
Yes, and they did break into the top 100 most famous people in the world.
I'm going to guess, without opening up the app, I'm going to guess, God, like they can't be too damn famous, but I know there's a lot of people from The Office on Cameo. But I feel
He
like
said
it's
top
They are.
100 famous in the world.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I
Yep,
feel like
top
it's got to be
100
some sort of
worldwide.
egotistical maniac, like a Stallone, or maybe like. But see, he's too big. Who's that other shittier guy that can't really do karate, but he pretends?
Steven Seagal.
I mean, Seagal, but 25. I'd picture him doing like 10 grand, something.
Jean-Claude
outrageous.
Van Damme?
Maybe. See, like that's when we got maybe like a.
But is he
Those
just
are-
going to?
those are
He's not
famous
going to
enough.
just.
This person
Chuck
is significantly
Norris?
more famous. Chuck Norris is a good guess.
Yeah, I could.
That's a great guess. It's not correct though. Jamie,
Ice
Kyle,
T.
you want to throw a guess?
Ice T.
He's on the site. He's not quite that expensive. I think he was like $250, $300. Something
Really?
like that.
Wow.
What?
Like he's
So
pretty
Ice-T's that, and this person is 10
Is
times
it
more?
Obama?
Oh
It is
my
not
God.
Obama.
I mean,
Oh my word.
Kyle,
I'm
we
pretty
have
sure
a
Ice-T was like 250.
wow.
Let's see. Who do I think it would be? It's a celebrity.
It's a
Can I ask, is
celebrity.
it an athlete or no?
Is it Kim
that not-
Kardashian?
Was an athlete?
It could be an athlete.
You're in the right vein. You're in the
Oh my
right vein.
God. Is it
Jamie.
Caitlyn
Was an
Jenner?
athlete. It's Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner, $2,500, most expensive cameo
Boom.
greeting. If you were interested,
And aren't
out
those
there.
about like 5 minutes or less?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
I think they're even shorter than that, right?
Some people.
Yeah, they can be. Some are like a minute, or some are like 15
Some
seconds.
people like it's interesting to look up like Google the best cameo like value, like the bang for your buck cameo people, because like some of
Yeah.
them go all out and like they'll talk in their
I found it. I found the number one. We'll get to it.
okay,
Here's
here we
that.
go. Never mind.
And you're going to definitely agree with me after I describe what you get for $80 coming up here. But we'll get a few here sort of crowdsourced with some help from NetCredits Bonnie, who provided a list of the most cost-effective celebrities for hire on Cameo.com right now. I did not agree with these at all, really. She came in with Marla Maples is the best value celeb in her study. The actress is the 202nd most famous person on FameFlux. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
That's
I've never heard
Trump's ex-wife, right? Marlon Mason.
Yes, Donald Trump's second wife and actress. She'll make you a video greeting for $72.
Wow.
That's
I'm
dumb.
like, that's a
How
little too
long?
analytical, and I don't know if I agree with the analytics and data there.
The 200, you said, and two
That's so
most
dumb.
famous?
I disagree with
Yes,
that. I
There's
think
no
that's
way.
bullshit.
most. I agree. There's no
That's
way. I feel like
bullshit.
I would probably name 500 celebrities. If you gave me a sheet of paper, I would rattle off 500 people. Never heard of Marla Maples. Next one, the worst value celeb. Again, this coming from NetCredits Bonnie. The worst value celeb on Cameo is singer-songwriter Cameron Walker, who charges $995 per video, despite being the 360,193rd most famous person in the world.
I do not know. Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Never heard. But now I have. Cameron Walker. Are they in a band or anything?
He's just a solo artist, I'm pretty sure. I did
Dude,
watch a
all right.
video.
Hold
It
on.
didn't
Let me pull up
sound very good.
Spotify. We're going to see how many monthly listeners.
Cameron Walker.
And I'm going to reference this versus Debbie Gibson, who just starred in our movie.
Debbie Gibson has
right.
way more.
I don't doubt it. Cameron Walker. Ooh, okay.
Is Debbie Gibson
I
on Cameo?
guess.
No,
Yeah,
no
find
more
that out.
guess.
All right. How many monthly listeners do you think Cameron Walker? I'm assuming this
Let's
is the
just
right guy.
just
Kinda
tell us,
like-
Kyle.
Just tell us the number. We don't even
650.
Okay, all right.
to
Yeah, we don't need to guess. 2,844. Debbie Gibson, over a mil.
Yeah, for sure.
Debbie Gibson had like multiple number one songs in the U.S.
Next,
Lost in Your Eyes.
we got sort of the conclusion and recommendation from Bonnie at the end of her article. She ultimately recommends a Goonies double play. You can get Corey Feldman for $202 and Sean Astin for $295. So
Okay,
just a really wacky
Sean
article.
Astin would
She-
be badass though.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I feel like I could see him going all out for you too. He's just got just exudes like a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Dude, I would
Now
love
I've
for
got
him to
some
be
of
like,
my-
oh, sorry, you keep going.
Yeah, Kyle's Brahms segment.
Yeah,
No, that's
sorry.
good. What were you going to say, Kyle?
I was gonna say it'd be really cool if he did like a Frodo impression. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get the ring for you."
You're telling me that you would get a cameo of
What?
Sean Astin impersonating
Doing
Frodo?
Yeah, why would he do Frodo?
Because that's the joke.
That would be pretty good. I like it. I like where Kyle's head's at. And now
like-
to wrap.
Because it's like the Michael Beach thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I need you to act like your friend.
Frodo. I couldn't afford Elijah Wood.
So you're the runner up.
I should look up how much Elijah is.
Right, yeah.
He can't be that much more expensive.
I wouldn't think so.
To bring it home, though, here, I found a few on my own now, my own research here, just going through, found some steals and deals for Harry Potter fans. Victor Crumb. Stan Yanevsky, the actor that plays Victor Crumb, $35.
That's so funny to me.
Frank Longbottom, who plays Neville's dad and appears on screen for less than 3 seconds in like a newspaper clipping, like the animated newspaper articles in Harry Potter and whatnot. All the photos are animated. He appears in a photo headshot. Neville's dad, Frank Longbottom, $17. I don't know who would be reserving that.
Yeah,
but
that seems crazy.
Frank Longbottom isn't even on IMDb.
Oh my God, this guy! I wonder what he started off at and how low he keeps dropping it to a good balance.
That's a good point.
Balance.
17 is such a weird number.
Yeah.
There's no way he led with that.
Yeah, like that's random as hell.
Paula Deen, $100. I'm like, yeah, with everybody I'm seeing on here, Paula Deen at $100, not too shabby. If you're going to spend $70 on Lorenzo, I feel like.
Was she the one with some controversy?
Oh, yeah.
Was it Paula Deen?
I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Saying a word she shouldn't have said?
Amongst other
Yeah,
things.
you might be right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she's discounted here.
Could be.
And lastly, who I'm most excited about finding and discovering, because there's some potential here, Jeffrey Owens from The Cosby Show. He plays Donovan McNabb, Tiger Woods, and Don Cheadle
Shut
on Always
up.
Sunny.
He's on cameo.
And he leans into it. He leans into it so hard. He even pulls off his sunglasses like he does as Donovan McNabb and pretends like he's Donovan McNabb, or he'll pretend whatever actor you want him to be. Like Denzel Washington is a common request for him to pretend to be Denzel.
That is.
And then he goes through and he'll conclude with, and he's like, and don't forget to get a hearty breakfast from McDonald's every morning, blah, 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 featuring now the sausage egg McGriddle for a limited time for under $5.
I'm loving it. I love this. This is so awesome. That's a great one.
So there you go. Those are my best cameo steals and deals.
How much has he been?
$80.
That's nothing. That's $80, but that's so funny. God.
You could split it with a few friends, get 3 buddies.
God, you could do it. I mean, yeah.
Spend $20
fantasy
each.
football, anything. I mean, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he did a lot fantasy football where he's pretending to be Donovan McNabb. I was watching a few of his videos.
That is awesome.
But there you go, folks.
Can I make a request?
Sure.
In the near future, can you do a something from A Place for Mom? Because this wasn't from A Place for Mom, right?
It was not. I will see what they've got cooking. Maybe I can find
See
a
what
way
lists-
to integrate things.
See what lists they got going. I think some of
See what they're up to.
some of the hotties from that other list you did probably passed away. So maybe they revamped that list.
Maybe it's updated. I can check.
Yeah.
See if I can find that. All right. Sorry, I ran a little long there. Zach, do you have some Zach facts to bring us home?
Well, maybe. Let's find out.
Zach Facts, it's Zach Facts. When you're going down, get some Zach Facts when you're going down.
Zach Facts, it's Zach Facts when you're going down. Zach Facts when you're going down. Hey, everyone, it's Zach. Brom, you were going to say something?
Over under 3.5.
I've decided I'm always going under because then if I win, I'm happy. And if I lose, I'm happy.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's a smart man
Well,
there.
I'm never happy if Jamie wins, so I got to go over.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over as well.
Wow. Way to put the pressure on me. All right. Fact number 1. Coming in from top 10 list, we're talking all these lists, we're talking all these cameos, we're talking all this good shit. Well, I got some good shit for you. The number one requested fan-made pornographic film is a spoof of this. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but it's the number one requested film. So go to your libraries, your public libraries, and request this public film. Mega Shark versus Giant Octopusy. There it is. There it is.
Did you say Mega Shark?
Yeah,
Mega
kind of
Shark.
an odd pun there for what we're talking about.
Well, I mean,
Not
it's an
really,
odd
man.
movie. You know,
There's that,
I could
that
see how it
population into that, right?
there is.
Yeah.
Shark stuff.
Yeah.
Poop play.
Yeah. Like the old Blumpkin there, Jamie. Remember that?
Jamie just stone-faced and all
He's
of
like,
No,
dude.
I reacted just with my eyes. I emoted with my face.
He
He's smiling
did,
with
and he
his
did the
eyes.
head shake like he's disappointed in being here. You got headphones on. Don't worry. No one can hear you.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, guys.
Hey, buddy.
That's it.
All right.
One?
That was just one. Sorry.
Just
There's
one.
no way.
One and done. No. Scout's honor. Spock's honor.
I don't believe that. I don't believe him at all.
Cut it. That's it. It was one. And I'll be honest. Want me to be honest? I actually forgot to type them up. Like, I didn't type them up. I came up with that right off the top of my head looking at the movie poster. So,
Whoa.
I have to believe him. I think he's.
I'm not joking. I'm it. That's it. We can cut whenever you want. We're good. I got nothing.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.